Unmute your videos. It is compulsory. You are not permitted to mute your video. Android. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. No response?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. Almost all your faces are familiar to me, and I think I'm also familiar to you. Annette, you know my name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Myself, Needu, and here taking economics. Okay, you all are in which stream? Both humanities and commerce? Okay. Here, I'm here to teach you economics. Before going to economics, in 9th you studied economics, in 10th you studied economics. Don't think that our 9th and economics, 10th economics is in 12th, 11th and 12th. The same thing, but a little bit depth we are going. In the syllabus, we have two parts. You have two textbooks in 11th. One is statistics and the other is micro. In economics, you want to study two textbooks you have. One is statistics and the other is microeconomics. So economics, you have two textbooks. And the first is statistics and the other one is microeconomics. Okay? 11th is, there is not much tough. If you, the problems, statistics, you already studied portions where there mean, median, mode is there. Then about standard deviation, mean deviation. I think you studied all that things. Statistics, you want to study some problems, but micro is entirely a theory paper. So two textbooks, one is micro and the other is statistics. Here I am planning to start with statistics. Because statistics, not with problems, the first four we are studying the theory and after that only we will go to the problems. So anyway, we can start from statistics. Okay, are you ready? Yes or no? Makle respond well, okay? Don't sit idle in the class. So statistics. Before going to statistics, you know why you are studying economics? Anybody? Is this subject have any relevance in your life? Economics have any relevance in your life? You think so? Aishwarya, do you think that economics have any relevance in your life?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
Not hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What importance you think that?
In case of creating data and all those stuff.
In our life, what is the importance of economics? In our life, we applying economics anywhere in our life?
Yes.
Yes, where?
In banks and
In our life, wherever if you go to a shop for purchasing a good, if you are buying something online, or if you are demanding any good, whatever, there all you have the importance of economics is there. When you, okay.
yes, ma'am.
Reshma, Suppose, are you buying anything online? No. Anybody here are buying any goods in online? Anybody? Online purchasing?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Why you are purchasing goods as online?
Because we have more selection compared to stores
Okay. More selection is there. Then
and saves time.
saves time. Okay. Any
And if
other?
any
What about the price?
some price is basically low due to
Price is also less, isn't it?
yes.
That is the application of economics. We will select more goods where price is less. If the price is less, we will demand more. That is an economic theory we are applying in our life. When we are going to a shop, wherever you are going, you are applying the subject unknowingly. We don't know this is economics, but we are applying it. In your family. If you are taking from your income, your expenditure, your everything is related to economics. So the subject have a great relevance not only in the society but also in our life. In this current situation also, you know why, what forces us to take the classes as online? Due to corona, isn't it? The time of corona also, people are highly discussing about its economic impact. People are not getting job. Those who have job also, they are getting thrown out from the job, all these things. So whatever things happen, if it is a political issue, if it is a social issue, or if it, everything have and after its impact on its economic side. So the subject have a great relevance, not only now, in your future also. You have, we are applying economics unknowingly in our life, but when you are hearing the newses, when you are reading the newspaper, you can see how much relevant this subject nowadays. So first understand the subject is very important, very, it is not for getting marks we are studying economics. Okay, if you study by heart some theories and if you are writing it for the exam, you will get marks, but it is applying. When you are hearing a news or when you are hearing something, you can say, this is economics. So first understand the subject, and after that you try to. Don't think that, oh, these much we want to study. Change the attitude. This is very important or very relevant for our life. We are studying from our life. When you are explaining each theory, you understand, this is we applied somewhere. This is applying in my family. Or this situation I faced, all will be there. Okay. So anyway, we are starting from statistics. In the depth economics, we can go later. First, we can start with statistics. Statistics. What all things you know about statistics? It is a different subject, statistics. Economics and statistics. But all the economic theories depend on stat. Without statistics, we cannot explain anything. Are you reading the newspapers every day?
Yes.
Or the press, have you heard the press conference of the chief minister? At least one time? Yes. The data, it's a statistical data they are saying. In the newspapers and all, if you have the habit of reading it, you see that you must take the newspaper. There is graphs and all you can see. The corona patients increasing, decreasing, and again increasing. All these are based on the statistical data. So we are, for anything, what all things we want to interpret, we want to analyze, we are using statistics. You studied statistics in mathematics. So statistics is related to mathematics, to economics, physics, all the subjects statistics have its own relation, but it is economics cannot be survived without statistics because all the data are analyzed by using the statistical method. So we are starting from statistics. You know who's the father of statistics? Children, statistics is a separate branch, okay? Economic, like your other subjects, statistics is also a separate branch. And Indian Central Statistical Organization, CSO is there. If you have a post-graduation in statistics, you will get jobs there. Then in our state also we have The economics and statistical department is there. There, the students who have a degree in economics, statistics, and mathematics, they can only apply for that such type of jobs. So it's a unique subject, but it is highly related to economics. Okay. In economics, we have a lot of applications based on statistics. So who you know who's the father of statistics? The father of statistics is Sir Ronald Fisher. He is the father of statistics. He made statistics as a separate branch. Sir Ronald Fisher is the father of statistics. Okay. Then, excuse me, ma'am, your class is at 1:35, 45. Okay, then the father of Indian statistics. You all have textbook with you? You all got the textbook? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
And now no need to open the textbook, okay? Just listen here. So the father of Indian statistics is P.C. Mahalanobis. He's the father of Indian statistics. You know, June 29th is his birthday and it is celebrated as the statistical day. P.C. Mahalanobis is considered as the father of Indian statistics. This name is very relevant for you because this name have a greater importance in your classes. P.C. Mahalanobis. Okay, P.C. Mahalanobis is the father of Indian statistics. His birthday is on June 29th, celebrated as a statistical day. He's also a pioneer in the development of India's 5-year plan and all that we will discuss later. So this name you never ever forget, P.C. Mahalanobis is the father of Indian statistics. Then that's about statistics and anyway we are studying statistics and economics. So we must know about economics and its father. Economics is a subject which is actually collaborated with politics and there is no economics. It was called as political economy initially. But a great economist, Adam Smith, made it separate from politics and give a new branch that is economics. So the Adam Smith is called as the father of economics. And his book, An Inquiry into the Nature and Cause of Wealth of Nation, is a classic, is a great work of the great political economist Adam Smith, and he made economics as a separate branch. We call his book as Wealth of Nation. Okay. Adam Smith, he's a father of economics, and his book's name is The Wealth of Nation, an inquiry into the nature and cause of wealth of nation. Simply, shortly, we are saying it as Wealth of Nation. Just for an introduction, before going to the subject, you must know about the history of the subject. So statistics, it's this father of statistics was Sir Ronald Fisher, but in India, the father of Indian statistics is P.C. Mahalanobis. And his birthday is celebrated as the Indian Statistical Day. And for economics, the father of economics is Adam Smith. And you know one thing, the subject which have a Nobel Prize. How many subjects are getting Nobel Prize? Tom, can you say in which all subjects there is Nobel Prize? Simply say. Anyway, 10th you studied 2 subjects.
Literature,
Physics.
chemistry,
Sorry?
chemistry,
Physics, chemistry, that you studied. Physics have Nobel Prize, chemistry have Nobel Prize, then literature have Nobel
Literature.
Prize. Literature, then medicine, Then economics also a subject which is getting Nobel Prize. Okay. And the last year an Indian origin person got the Nobel Prize. Who's that? And also for peace. These are for the Nobel Prize. And the last year who got Nobel Prize? He's an Indian actually. Both for him and his wife got the Nobel Prize. For the next class, find the name of the person. Okay. Who got the Nobel Prize for the last year in economics? Don't forget, everybody should find the answer. I will ask. Then that time, if you said I forgot, you will write the imposition of his name 100 times. So better to check and come for the next class. So we can start statistics. The father of Indian statistics is P.Z. Mahalanobis. Then, before going to statistics, and economics can be simply defined as the man, it's a study of man in ordinary business of life. There is a simple definition we are giving to economics. The study of man in his ordinary business of life. That means each of you, I told you, we all are a part of an economic activity. We all are the part of an economic activity. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all are the part of economic activities. When you are when you are eating something, when you are buying something, you are called as a consumer. If you are buying something for, or if you're buying some goods for satisfy your wants, suppose Aishwarya, when she is walking along the road, she find a shop where shawarma is there. Okay. Our Aishwarya went there and bought 8 and 8. She is a consumer there. And at the same time, suppose the shop is the Sharat shop. He is a person who is producing the goods. And a seller is there who is selling the goods. And employee and employer is there. We are knowingly or unknowingly, we are the part of these things. As a consumer, when we are purchasing a good for consumption, we are called as a consumer. Okay. If we are producing some goods, if you are producing some goods, if you have a company of your own, or if you have a anybody have bakery or anything in this class, or any goods production bakery, it's so easy. That's why I asked. Nobody. So we call, if a person is producing a good, we call him as a producer. And seller means the person who is selling the goods. Suppose I am a shopkeeper and I am selling the goods. I am a seller. And the two terms employee and employer. I am an employee of Dr. Raju Davis International School because I am working under a person. And in return, I am paid. Okay. In return, they are paying me money. So I am an employee. We are working for others, and if we are getting paid, we called as employee and employer. In the school, the chairman is the employer because he is providing job for others. See, knowingly or unknowingly, we are a part of all these economics. So that's why Alfred Marshall called economics is a study of man in his ordinary business of life. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are participating in all the economic activity. Now you think, sometimes, every time we are a consumer, it's a part of economics. Your economic activity. Say if anybody is having a business or production unit is there, you are a producer. Your parents are have their own companies and all, they are producing the goods. So you are a producer. If you have anybody have a shop, you are selling the goods, seller. Employee and employer. Your parents are sometimes an employee or sometimes they are employers. If they are working under a person, we call them as employee. And if they are providing job for others, we call them as employer. So all these economic activities are coming under the study of economics. That's why we simply define economics as the study of man in the ordinary business of life. That means in our life, economics is defined as a study of man in the ordinary business of life. As such, it may be a consumer, a producer, seller, employee or employer. Then, a better definition for economics is a study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses. See, it's a very important concept related to economics. If the resources are plenty, there will not be a subject like economics. There is no application for economics if the resources are plenty. Tom, suppose you are getting a pocket money of 100 rupees. Okay, Tom? But you want to purchase a good for 200 rupees. Tom likes to buy goods for 200 rupees, but his parents give him only 100 rupees. There is scarcity, shortage of money is there. Isn't it, Tom? Sometimes we will also feel that like that because your resource is scarce, money is scarce there, and but you can utilize it. Your parents have two things you need. You can then you will select out of that a list you have. Then you will give priority. Which one I will buy first? Because money is less in your hand. You have a demand of 200 rupees goods and you asked your father, Father, please give me 200 rupees. Instead of 200, he gave only 100 rupees to Tom. So what he will do? He will give prioritization. Now, which good is most important? First, I will buy that. Then next one, next one. So the goods which are least important, we will cut out. And from that money, we will buy. So if you have enough money with you, you can buy all the things. Then there is no economics here. So why economics is there? Because the resources are scarce and the resources have alternative uses. It can be used for different purpose. That money he can use that money for buying an ice cream, a chocolate, or for 100 rupees what you will get for eating a biryani. Suppose a biryani have only 100 rupees. Or for buying a book, or for buying a pen, you have an alternative uses. Money with you have alternative, different uses, how the money with you. So economics is a study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy the wants. That is a simple definition of economics. It is how the people and the society choose the scarce resources. The resources are scarce and the resources have alternative uses. Think about Tom, because money is resources scarce and that 100 rupee have alternative uses. Okay, and he can use that money to produce some goods or to for satisfying our wants. Either we can use it for consumption. Okay. So if economics is a study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy their wants and to distribute them for consumption among various persons and groups in society. This is a simple definition for economics. It's a study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy their wants and distribute them for consumption among various persons and distribute among for consumption. Tom, his resource is very scarce. It have alternative use, and in order to produce various commodities to satisfy our wants, we are using that resource. Why I am saying Tom, then you will not forget this definition. Otherwise, if I am saying it's a scarcity, resource and all, you will be confused. Okay, for simplicity, I said like that. Don't feel it. So, economics, one definition we studied, it's a study of man in his ordinary business of life. That means The study of man in his ordinary, all the economic activities. Knowingly or unknowingly, the humans are participating in the economic activity. Economic activities means that is for a monetary gain. For getting money or for in terms of money, if we are explaining anything, we call it as economic activity. Why we are producing goods? Because to sell that in the market and to earn money. Isn't it? Or simply for the welfare of the people, we are selling the goods? Definitely no, for getting money. So that is economic activities. Those activities which are explained in terms of monetary terms, we called it as economic activity. So Alfred Marshall defined economics as a study of man in his ordinary business of life. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are participating in the economic activity as a consumer, producer, seller, employer, or employee. Or another definition is the study of how people and society choose to employ the scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities that satisfy the wants and to distribute them for consumption. So there are three parts are coming under economics. All the theories are depending on these three parts. One is consumption, other is production, and the other is distribution. So all the goods are produced in the economy as we consume, we called as a consumer. We are producing the goods either for consumption. For what purpose the goods are produced? Don't think that consumption means only eating. Okay, here consumption means not only eating. Consumption means for all the purpose we are using the general term as consumption. Consumption is a general term we are using for all the activities which are related to consuming a good. Production and distribution. Distribution means how the income is distributed. So all these terms we will discuss in depth later. Okay, so now I am not going to that. Only the economics is discussed in three parts. After completing your theory, you know that you studied only these three portions. One is related to consumption, other is related to production, and the other is related to distribution. In the 11th, your economics, microeconomics chapters are dealing with only these three concepts: production, consumption, production, and distribution. So how to define economics? It can be, it's a study of how the people and the society chooses to employ scarce resources that could have alternative uses in order to produce various commodities which satisfy a human want. Which satisfy a human want, we call it as economics. So economics is a study of how people and society choose to employ scarce resources that could have alternative use in order to produce various commodities that satisfy our wants. Okay? And the economic, all these activities coming under the three categories. One is consumption, other is production, and the other is distribution. Then coming to statistics. This is only a brief introduction to economics. What is economics and which are the major parts coming under economics, that is consumption, production, and distribution. In the 11th, your all theories in the microeconomics is related to these three topics only, related to consumption, production, and distribution. Then statistics. It is simply defined as the collection, organization, presentation, and analysis of data. Some terms are there. Statistics is defined as a collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. So how to define statistics? It is a collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Statistics include the collection of data. It includes the organization of data. It includes the presentation of data, analysis of data, and interpretation of data. The best ever example is nowadays, if you are reading the newspaper, if you are hearing the press conferences and all, You can see how these data are there. First, in the COVID case, what they will do? First, they are collecting the data from different districts. In the Kerala's case, then it will be properly organized. Then it is clearly presented, maybe in a table format or as a graph or anyway, it will be formatted. Then based on that, we are coming to an analysis and interpretation. Best example is in the current society, current situation. If you are reading the newspapers, you can see that first, see in the Kerala from 14 districts, they are collecting the data. Then after that, they will organize it by district ways. Or by the in the district itself, different places are there. Hotspot is these much. That is a correct. After collecting the data, they are organizing the data, and after that they will present either in a graphical format or a table format. It will be clearly present, and based on that presentation, we are coming to an analysis and interpretation whether the COVID is patients number is increasing or decreasing. What are the precautions we can be take and all the things. Okay, so statistics, how you will define? It includes 5 things: collection. After collecting, what we want to do? Organizing. After organizing, want to present it proper, and presenting it should be analyzing and interpretation. Okay, so the statistics include, it is defined as a collection, organization, presentation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. So how to collect the data? The data can be collected by 2 methods. One is census and the other is sample. Census and the sample. Census means, you heard about population survey. Population survey. It is a method of census method. That means we are taking all the people. For population survey, they will go to each and every house and collecting the data. But sample survey, now COVID rapid test is conducting. Best example, sample method. Because we are not selecting all the people. From a particular population, we are taking 2 or 3 from each category and we are analyzing whether they have COVID or not. So the data can be collected in 2 methods. One is census method and the sample method. Census means the entire population is there. For checking the rice, whether rice is cooked or not, what we will do? Have you ever seen that your parents, your mother is checking that whether the rice is cooked or uncooked? How they will check it? Nobody know? Nobody? We never ever entered to kitchen. Girls also don't know? I will not tell. Today you ask your mother, okay, Amma, how we know that whether the rice is cooked or not? Whether you are taking each from that and you don't know, no need. So better to think about the COVID rapid test. So there are 2 methods of collection of data. One is census and the sample. Census method means we are taking the whole population. Each and every person is coming under, we call it a census, but sample means we are taking only a particular. Like the COVID rapid test is conducting. It is not for every person we are doing. From a particular population, among the police, we will select someone and doing it. From the health department or nurses or somewhere, we are taking someone and doing it. Like that, the sample method. Other is organization of data. It may be, first we edit the collected raw data, then we will classify the data and we made tabulation. This we will discuss in depth. So just know that editing, classification and tabulation. Then how to present the data. Data can be presented in a table format or a graph. Then we can analyze the data by using the statistical methods, you know, mean, median, mode, then dispersion, variation, correlation. A lot of methods are there to analyze these data. And from that, we will coming to a conclusion. That is the interpretation of data. So the statistics, It is defined as a collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Simply, you can define statistics as a collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Once again, statistics. Father of statistics is Ronald Fisher. Then father of Indian statistics is P.C. Mahalanobis. This name you will hear a lot of places. Father of economics is Adam Smith. Then economics can be simply defined as the man in his study in the ordinary business of life, or as a economic, whether the people are engaged in economic activity. It includes the consumer, producer, seller, employees, and employers. Or it can be defined as how to utilize the scarce resources. Economics is there because the resources are scarce and it have alternative uses. It can be used for one or another purpose. Then statistics, then we are going to statistics. Next class onwards, we will discuss about the statistics in depth. So it may be simply defined as the collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Okay? Clear? Clear? So if you have a textbook, read the portion for the next class and come. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Thank you.